Yeah, I got a half a minute. It's ready. Yeah. That's how we normally do it. Call the Planning Development Committee to order, please. Please call the roll.
Councillor Walker.
Here.
Councillor McBrearty.
Here.
Councillor Corradino.
Here.
Could I get a motion to approve the minutes for April 4th, 2022? Mr. Cordino, Mrs. McBrearty.
Councillor Walker.
Yes.
Councillor McBrearty.
Yes.
Councillor Corradino.
Yes.
Any old business? Seeing none, we'll go right down to communication. Number 1, Mayor William J. Barlow Jr. requests the approval of the Common Council to authorize a public hearing regarding amending provisions of Chapter 224 of the City Code, establishing income levels that qualify the partial tax exemption for qualifying persons with disabilities. I see Mayor Barlow up there.
Thank you. I'll just speak to both of the items because they're basically the same thing. The first item is the senior citizens. We're just updating that. We did this 2 or 3 years ago where we raised the income limits up a little bit then. Now we can only raise them up to the state's maximum, so the state changed their maximum, so now we have to act to match that, taking it up to 37.4, I think is the number on there. So it's just the right thing to do by senior citizens who are eligible to take advantage of this and save a little money and provide some financial relief. There's some other small changes too, like when they actually become eligible is 65 instead of waiting until the following year for the assessment. So we're going to make that change too. And then the second item is new to the city. It's something we do not have now. It's the disability with limited income exemption, and that allows people who are eligible to take advantage of, I think it's the same thresholds as the senior citizen one. Anyone who thinks they may be eligible for either of these exemptions can contact the assessor's office and find out.
All right, thank you. Any questions? Concerns? Nothing? I have one question. That's just for owner-occupied homes, correct? If they
Correct.
Okay, that's, I just wanted to get that out there, so, not for rentals. So, with that being said, could I get a motion? Councilor McBrearty, Councilor Cordino.
Councillor Walker.
Yes.
Councillor McBrearty.
Yes.
Councillor Corradino.
Yes.
All right, item number 2. Mayor William J. Barlow Jr. requests the approval of the Common Council to authorize a public hearing regarding amending provisions of Chapter 224 of City Code to adjust the income levels to qualify for partial tax exemptions for qualifying seniors. As the mayor just said, he spoke on that, and we have any questions, concerns about that? Councilor Cordino.
Yeah, I just wanted to reiterate, the mayor mentioned that we had made these adjustments back in 2019, and prior to the change in 2019, I believe it was 1999 was the last time before that these were changed. So I'm glad to see that we're not waiting 20 years before we adjust these numbers, because there were a lot of people that were shut out because their incomes had gone up, but our guidelines didn't change. So I'm glad to see that we're being proactive in changing these on a timely basis. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more questions? Could I get a motion, please? Councilor Cordino, Councilor McBrearty.
Councillor Walker.
Yes.
Councillor McBrearty.
Yes.
Councillor Corradino.
Yes.
Nothing else on there? Could I get an adjournment, please? Councilor Cordino, Councilor McBrearty.
Councillor Walker.
Yes.
Councillor McBrearty.
Yes.
Councillor Corradino.
Yes.
At this time, I'd like to call the Physical Services Committee meeting for May 2nd, 2022 to order. Please call the roll.
Councillor Hill.
Here.
Councillor Burridge.
Here.
Councillor Walker.
Here.
Councillor Gozick.
Here.
Could I have a motion to approve the minutes of our April 18th, 2022 meeting? Councilor Walker, Councilor Burridge.
Councillor Hill.
Yes.
Councillor Burridge.
Yes.
Councillor Walker.
Yes.
Councillor Gozick.
Yes.
Is there any old business to come before this committee? Seeing none, we'll move on to new business under communication. Item number 1, the Zoning and Planning Office has received a request from Frank Hegarty, owner of property located at 200 to 202 West First Street, for use of public space in order to install an awning. We have Mr. McGann here to speak.
Yep, if anybody remembers, last year we did quite a few of the downtown businesses on First Street. new signage, new awnings through the economic development with some grants. And the one business that was kind of straggling behind was Hegarty's Hot Spot. And that's what we're asking is for use of public space. They're going to be putting up a new awning to kind of tie in with the buildings that Michelle King and Amy Lear have done there with new signage, toned down a little bit from what is there. The awning's about 3 foot deep by 3 foot high, 18 foot long, black, dark in nature with gold striping with a similar sign to match with no dragons or anything like is there currently. So should be a little bit smoother flow down First Street and kind of finish off First Street.
Great. Any questions for Mr. McGinn? Okay. Could I have a motion, please? Counselor Gozick, Counselor Walker.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Burridge.
Yes.
Counselor Walker.
Yes.
Counselor Gozick.
Yes.
Item number 2, the Zoning and Planning Office has received a request from Barry Dem, owner of a single-family dwelling located at 139 East 2nd Street, for use of public space for the construction of a 6-foot-high fence. I see someone is here to speak to this.
Yeah, he's going to come up.
Okay, excellent. So if you'd like to just state your name and your
Barry
address.
Dem, 139 East Second. I'd like to separate my parking area from my neighbor. It's an ongoing thing. My truck just keeps getting dinged and dented. No witnesses, nothing I can do about it. I'm hoping that I can just prevent that.
Seems pretty straightforward. Yeah.
I realized it didn't come through too clear on there. But as you know, Mr. Dunn has the right to fence in his survey property. He's looking to continue a little bit further out towards the sidewalk as it's kind of a shared driveway area. As he mentioned, giving some separation to protect his vehicle. But that does come out a ways into public space coming out towards the sidewalk. So that's what we're asking for the use of public space for.
Do you have any concerns with the request?
I don't. I went by there again today to take a look at it. It's in the middle of the block, so it's definitely not it's not a concern with traffic. I didn't see any issue with it at all.
Great. Any concerns from the counselor of the ward?
No, I went by myself and looked, and I don't see a problem with it myself.
Great. Okay, could I have a motion, please? Counselor Walker, Counselor Burridge.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Burridge.
Yes.
Counselor Walker.
Yes.
Counselor Gozick.
Yes.
Thank you. It'll go to full
Thank
council
you.
on Monday. Item number 3, the Special Events Committee through the Office of Economic Development has received a request from Michelle Merritt to host the St. Mary's Bazaar at St. Mary's Church parking lot on July 15th to 16th, 2022, from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. Do we have anyone here to speak to this item? Okay. This is a pretty straightforward request. Recurring event. Any questions or concerns from the council? Okay. Could I have a motion, please? Counselor Gozick, Counselor Walker.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Burridge.
Yes.
Counselor Walker.
Yes.
Counselor Gozick.
Yes.
Item number 4, the Special Events Committee through the Office of Economic Development received a request from the Oswego County Federal Credit Union to organize and host Movies in the Park to be held on June 29, 2022, with a rain date on June 30th, 2022, in Washington Square Park or East Park. Again, pretty straightforward request. Any concerns or questions from the council?
No.
Okay. Could I have a motion, please? Counselor Burridge, Counselor Gozick.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Burridge.
Yes.
Counselor Walker.
Yes.
Counselor Gozick.
Yes.
And item number 5, the Special Events Committee through the Office of Economic Development has received a request from the Asuka Little League to hold the annual Asuka Little League 5K Run Walk on Friday, June 3rd, 2022. Similar request. Any questions or concerns from the council? Great. Could I have a motion, please? Counselor Gozick, Counselor Walker.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Burridge.
Yes.
Counselor Walker.
Yes.
Counselor Gozick.
Yes.
Any other business to come before this committee? Seeing none, I'll take a motion to adjourn. Counselor Burridge, Counselor Walker.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Burridge.
Yes.
Counselor Walker.
Yes.
Counselor Gozick.
Yes.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to open the Administrative Services Committee meeting for May 2nd, 2022. Please call the roll.
Counselor Corradino.
Here.
Counselor McBurdy. Counselor Hill.
Here.
Counselor Plunkett.
Here.
Counselor Burridge.
Here. I'd like a motion to approve the minutes of the April 18th, 2022 committee meeting. Counselor Hill, Counselor Plunkett?
Counselor Cordino?
Yes.
Counselor McBrearty?
Yes.
Counselor Hill?
Yes.
Counselor Plunkett?
Yes.
Counselor Burge?
Yes. Any old business? Seeing none. Item number 1, under communication, Mayor William J. Barlow Jr. requests a budget amendment to the Code Enforcement Contracted Services Account A36200440 in the amount not to exceed $26,000 for the demolition of 17 Liberty Street and authorization for the City Chamberlain to pay same. Mr. Mayor?
Thank you. Pretty self-explanatory, but this was at the request of Councilor McBrearty, who's had some constituents reach out to her lately. 17 Liberty Street, if you remember, was in our property sale. It got sold, but then the people found out just how bad the house was. We accepted it back. There's nothing more to do than tear it down. So when Councilor McBrearty brought the request to me, we actually had a company already in town quoting some other projects. We were able to quickly get the quote and submit it on the agenda. And I would just take the opportunity to say, come late spring, early summer, as we do every year, we try to take 3 or 4 homes a year that are condemned and get rid of them. So if any counselors have a home that meets the condemnation criteria and is driving the neighbors crazy, feel free to let us know, and we'll see about getting it done.
All right, thank you. Any questions from the council, from the mayor on this one, from the public? I just have one question, and it's actually for Councilor McBrearty. I was wondering, did you get an opportunity to talk to the neighbors on either side, the property owners, to see if, once the property is taken down, are they interested in possibly purchasing the vacant property?
No, no one has expressed an interest in purchasing the vacant property at this time, but I'm sure, you know, moving forward, all anyone can see right now is the blight. So once that's removed and the neighborhood nuisance.
Oh,
Hi.
Hi, I'm Larry Hebert. I live at 19 Liberty Street.
oh.
I'm
well-
glad to see the
Well, I'm
house.
glad you stopped in.
Yes, yes. Glad to see the house come down, and we would be interested in that property. I know there was someone else talking about it, putting in a parking lot for the college homes. We don't like that idea, just because, you know, we think would be a big place for them to party. But we would like to, we'd be interested in that house to put up maybe possibly a garage or another shed or whatever.
All right, well,
Okay.
I guess as soon as the house comes down, you can have some conversation with your counselor and go through the procedure to actually put an offer in.
All right, excellent, thank you.
Thanks. Anybody else have any questions or concerns? Seeing none, can I have a motion, please? Counselor McBrearty, Counselor Burge.
Counselor Cordino?
Yes.
Counselor McBrearty?
Yes.
Counselor Hill?
Yes.
Counselor Plunkett?
Yes.
Counselor Burge?
Yes. Item number 2, Mayor William J. Barlow Jr. requests a budget amendment to the Marina Materials and Supplies Account A72300410 in the amount of $8,714.45 for the purchase of hydrobikes from Hydrobikes Incorporated and authorization for the City Chamberlain to pay same. Mr. Mayor?
Thank you. We've had some success with the new Welcome Center, renting out the kayaks and pedal boats and bikes. So we're going to try to add to the fleet with an idea that we found online called Hydrobikes. It's basically a bike that you can ride on the water, so you'll be able to rent these out of the Welcome Center at the marina.
All right. Any questions from the council on this one? From the public? Going once, going twice? Okay, can I have a motion, please? Counselor Hill, Counselor Plunkett.
Counselor Cordino?
Yes.
Counselor McBrearty?
Yes.
Counselor Hill?
Yes.
Counselor Plunkett?
Yes.
Counselor Burge?
Yes. Item number 3, Mayor William J. Barlow Jr. requests a budget amendment to the Tourism Material and Supplies Account A64750410 in the amount of $3,120 for the Royal Blue Tote Bags as part of the Keep Oswego Clean initiative and authorization for the City Chamberlain to pay same. Mayor Barlow?
rather self-explanatory, but we have these Keep Oswego Clean bags that we had done when we passed that package of legislation, which was at the same time the state outlawed plastic bags. So it was really convenient for people to be able to pick up these bags. We have them available downstairs for free for people who come in to pay their bills or something to grab on the way out. And it's also a good use for the P-TAB tent or any other purposes where we set something up and need to give something away. So we ran out, so just looking to order more.
Thank you, Mayor. Any questions from the council, from the public? Seeing none, can I have a motion, please? Counselor Burridge, Counselor Plunkett.
Counselor Corodino.
Yes.
Counselor McBroody.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Plunkett.
Yes.
Counselor Burridge.
Yes. Item number 4, Mayor William J. Barlow Jr. requests a budget amendment to the Youth Bureau miscellaneous account A7310-0460 in the amount of $462 for the Youth Bowling Day event at Lighthouse Lanes and authorization for the city chamberlain to pay same. Mr. Mayor?
When the event was originally budgeted, we had, I think, 25 or 30 slots available, so that's what was in the budget. Once those slots filled up in like 90 seconds, I had Youth Bureau expand it to 75, so this is the extra money to pay for the rest.
All right, very good, thank you. Any questions from the council, from the public? Seeing none, can I have a motion, please? Counselor Hill, Counselor Burridge.
Counselor Corodino.
Yes.
Counselor McBroody.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Plunkett.
Yes.
Counselor Burridge.
Yes. Item number 5, Mayor William J. Barlow Jr. requests discussion regarding the replacement of a pipe railing at the site of the East Linear Skate Park. Mr. Mayor?
Before we broke ground on the skate park, there was a railing that ran down the middle of it that we were going to try to incorporate into the skate park. Turns out the condition of the railing, once we inspected it a little more closely, wouldn't really make a whole lot of sense for skateboarders to use as part of the skate park, and also aesthetically it wasn't in great shape. So we solicited a quote from a local company. I think it's in your packet, 12 or 13,000, and to replace that railing. And instead of replacing the whole thing, we'll leave a little opening, because the skate park's going to have really 2 tiers to it if you look at it. So now instead of going out and around the railing, you can drop in if you're in the higher park and want to get to the lower portion.
All right, thank you. Any questions from the council, from the public? Seeing none, can I have a motion, please? Counselor Hill, Counselor McBroody.
Counselor Corodino.
Yes.
Counselor McBroody.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Plunkett.
Yes.
Counselor Burridge.
Yes. Now for the item we've all been waiting for, item number 6. Mayor William J. Barlow Jr. requests approval of a contract with Roselli Enterprises Incorporated for the 2022 milling and paving project in the amount of $1,484,238.04. Mr. Mayor?
This is our paving project that I'll actually speak to these 2 items at once. This is the paving project we do every year, was approved by the council with the streets that we listed earlier this year. So now that went out to bid, came back, piggybacking off of the Onondaga County contract, puts the price at $1.484 million, which is certainly higher than we expected, but with the price of oil that was, and of course the labor issues, we kind of figured it was going to come back a bit high. I still want to do the scope of work that we originally planned to do, and I highly doubt any councilors are going to volunteer their streets come off the plan. So that's the price, and they'll be coming in here within the next 2 weeks to start milling and paving. And then the other item that I'll just speak to is a new program from the State Touring Route Program, where we'll get an allotment over 2 years for $1.4 million. The reason why we're talking about that today is because the program only allows municipality to address state routes within city limits. So Oswego has 3 of those state routes. That's 104, 48, and 41. If you look at 41 inside city limits, we just did most of it as part of the East First project, but the rest of it is in pretty good shape. 104, of course, was recently repaved by the state, so that leaves 48. And if you look at Route 48 from Utica Street to the city line, it's one of the worst streets in the city. We originally had planned to do Utica to Erie portion this year, But with this program now coming out, it makes more sense to remove that portion from the paving plan. We can shim the worst spots. And what we'll do is do the project next year using this new funding and do it from Utica Street to the city line, which is up past the country club. And this funding actually allows us to do not just paving, but allows for sidewalks or some street enhancements. So this corridor is going through a rough period of time now. With the Ritz closed, the daycare just closed, some other businesses in that corridor have closed, so we think we can use this funding to put in some infrastructure improvements and spur some economic growth.
All right, thank you. Any questions for the mayor on this one from the public? Councilor Walker.
Quick question. You said the funding's good for this year and next year. Can we start it now? And that's what I'm,
Well, this is so it's a 2-year, it's 1.4 million over 2 years, so you get 750 each
Right.
year. We would have to front the entire 1.4.
okay.
We'd only get reimbursed this year the 750, which I don't really want to do with all the other projects going on. Also, if we do go down the route of street enhancements, that's going to require a design. We'll probably have to have the engineering department or a firm hire them to actually do a design, put a bid packet together and get that out. By that time, it's probably going to be next year anyway.
Okay, thank you.
One quick question, Mayor, on item number 6. In years past, the last 5 or 6 years, our CHIPS allotment was somewhere in the neighborhood of $800,000. How do you propose that we're going to pay for the difference between that and this cost?
We'll just come back, take it out of the general fund.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Seeing none, can I have a motion? Councilor Burridge, Councilor Plunkett.
Counselor Corodino.
Yes.
Counselor McBroody.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Plunkett.
Yes.
Counselor Burridge.
Yes.
Item number 7, Mayor William J. Barlow Jr. requests discussion regarding a new funding initiative through the state touring route program in the amount of $1,409,828.66. The mayor has already explained this particular item. Do we have any questions, councilors, on this one from the public? Seeing none, can I have a motion, please? Councilor McBroody, Councilor Hill.
Counselor Corodino.
Yes.
Counselor McBroody. Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Plunkett.
Yes.
Counselor Burridge.
Yes.
Item number 8, Mayor William J. Barlow Jr. Seeks discussion regarding authorization for the city chamberlain to advance funds to the Community Development's 6420 account for the skate park expenses in anticipation of receipt of American Rescue Plan Act funding. Mr. Mayor?
We talked about this when we went to approve the skate park contract last cycle. The skate park, $500,000 is broken will be used from 2 different sources of funding. $300,000 of it will come from our ARPA funds that we received in February of 2021. The other $200,000 will come from a property sale that we did with Farnham on George Street. Regardless, the $500,000 we're going to have to front because we don't get the second portion of our ARPA funds until this June or July. Upon execution of the contract, as you guys know from last week, we owe the skate park company $100,000, and then there's periodic payments throughout the process. So while we wait for the ARPA funds, we just need to use the 6420 to front the money. We're also still waiting on the closing of that George Street property as well.
Thank you, Mayor. Any questions from the council? From the public? Seeing none, can I have a motion, please? Councilor McBroody, Councilor Burridge.
Counselor Corodino.
Yes.
Counselor McBroody.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Plunkett.
Yes.
Counselor Burridge.
Yes.
Item number 9, Tim Rice, Commissioner of Public Works and Parks and Recreation, requests acceptance of a bid for hydrants and hydrant parts from Blair Supply in the amount of $35,351. Commissioner?
This is to purchase hydrants that were to replace inventory. You see the new hydrants going up around the city and anticipated repairs on hydrants. We'll be doing this summer and through the year.
All right, very good. Any questions for the commissioner while he's here? From the council? Public? Seeing none, can I have a motion, please? Councilor Plunkett, Councilor Hill.
Counselor Corodino.
Yes.
Counselor McBroody.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Plunkett.
Yes.
Counselor Burridge.
Yes.
Item number 10, Tim Rice, Commissioner of Public Works and Parks and Recreation, requests authorization for the City of Chamberlain to release funds from the Ice Rink Capital Reserve not to exceed $75,000 for the continued roof repairs at the Crisafulli Rink. Commissioner?
This is the final roof repairs at Crisafulli Rink. Last year or the year before, you guys put most of the roof on. This is the finisher repairs on this roof.
And we'll be done.
We'll be done with the Fort Rink, yes.
Good. Any other questions for the Commissioner? Seeing none, can I have a motion, please? Counselor Burridge, Counselor Plunkett.
Counselor Corodino.
Yes.
Counselor McBroody.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Plunkett.
Yes.
Counselor Burridge.
Yes.
Item number 11, the Office of Economic Development requests the renewal of the lease agreement for the space located at 44 East Bridge Street for a 5-year term. Is there anybody here to speak to this? I think I'll take this one. As everybody knows, our Economic Development Office is over on East 2nd and Bridge, and as the resolution says, the lease is up for renewal, and it's a 5-year term. Anybody have any questions or concerns? Seeing none, can I have a motion, please? Counselor Hill, Counselor McBroody.
Counselor Corodino.
Yes.
Counselor McBroody.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Plunkett.
Yes.
Counselor Burridge.
Yes.
Item number 12, the City of Oswego Rental Assistance Program requests the renewal of the lease agreement with the Tatro LLC for the space located at 159 Liberty Street for a 5-year term. I don't see anybody here to speak to this, but I do remember 5 years ago that we executed both of these leases, one for the Economic Development Office and one for the Rental Assistance Program at the same time, because as you may remember, they used to be across the street in one office and we separated them. So this lease renewal is right on target 5 years later. And does anybody have any questions or concerns from the council? From the public? Seeing none, can I have a motion, please? Counselor McBroody, Counselor Plunkett.
Counselor Corodino.
Yes.
Counselor McBroody.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Plunkett.
Yes.
Counselor Burridge.
Yes.
That was the last item for this committee. Is there any unfinished or any other business to deal with? Seeing none, can I have a motion, please? Counselor Plunkett, Counselor Burridge.
Counselor Corodino.
Yes.
Counselor McBroody.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Plunkett.
Yes.
Counselor Burridge.
Yes.
Thank you. Everyone, drive safe.
Drive safe.